Hi, this is the normal Labour Bulletin every Saturday from the Democratic Alliance. This is Saturday, the 17th of October 2020. Those who are too smart to engage in politics are being punished by being governed by those that are dumber. This was said by Plato many, many years ago, and it has come to pass. There are about 13 million employed people in South Africa, almost 11 million unemployed, and yet people are still striking, people are still retrenching. It hasn't stopped, and we need to discuss that. We've just had a speech from Dr. Doolittle, our President Talk-A-Lot, and unfortunately we didn't hear much, despite the fact that there was a lot of words. I don't think there will be much action. The President has said that he wants to create 800,000 jobs. 800,000 jobs. Problem is, they're not sustainable jobs, and they're 11 Rand per hour, not even governed by the national minimum wage. So thank you for listening to me. This is Michael Bagram, Labour spokesperson for the Democratic Alliance. Well, we have no real plans. We've heard a lot from the President. We heard it in the last quarter. We hear it every few months. We have the same plans. They get reworded, regurgitated. Unbelievable. We don't see any action. We don't even see people arrested, mind you. A few of them minios, but nothing really of any note. So, where are we going? There are no real plans. And nothing at all has been translated into job creation. Where is the real action? We could have deregulated small business. We could have deregulated the labour market. We could have created millions of jobs by merely uncoupling small business from the bargaining councils. It was said so by our Finance Minister, Tita Mabweni. And what do we have? We have nothing. We just have plans in mid-air. Those plans are set to sink. They're not set to do anything at all. It is a tragedy that we all sat there and listened to President Doolittle and Talk-A-Lot, and nothing has made us feel better at all. When is going to be the real action? Well, we don't know when there's going to be real action. COSATU themselves also agree. They said 800,000 jobs from about 2 million that we've lost in the first 3 months, another 2 million thereafter. What is going on? What are you going to do even with the 800,000 jobs that might be paying 11 Rand per hour and which aren't sustainable? They're not long-term jobs. COSATU has said we need to reduce the regulatory obstacles. Well, the Democratic Alliance has been calling for that for years. For years and years, ever since I can remember, we've said deregulate. Let the public sector stand aside for the private businesses. Let the public sector make the environment conducive to create jobs, not the other way around. Government doesn't create jobs. Government should create an environment so that business can create jobs. But what are they doing? They're doing everything opposite to this. They are not doing their job. As a government, they should make it easier. There shouldn't be a handbrake to job creation. COSATU also said we need specific sector strategies, and we need to reduce that regulatory obstacle. Well, hasn't the Democratic Alliance said that we need to take steps to ease the various sectors, to have a hands-off government approach? They've said it for years. Looks like that even the trade union movement is now getting to a situation where they're starting to think. Not much, mind you, but they are starting to think. Well, all of us have called for the banning of politically exposed persons doing business with government. Well, it was hinted, but nothing actually solid said. We've got a real problem in this country. there's fraud, there's corruption, there's theft. It's riddled right through the system. That should have been on top of the agenda, on top of the president's speech. He only hinted, didn't do much about it, only hinted. Because that, of course, is one of the biggest issues that we're facing right now. We've had about 12 years now of grand wholesale theft, grand corruption, and we're not seeing much being done about it. So there was little said about the looting. Well, of course, there's been a lot of promises, and there's a lot of money promised. Where is it coming from? Who is going to pay for the money that the president has promised? Who's going to bail out the parastatals, SAA, including Eskom? It's an unbelievable situation. Even our minister has said, Minister of Finance has said, that he's going to have to postpone his medium-term budget. He doesn't know where the money is going to come from. If the Minister of Finance doesn't know, well then how are you and I expected to know where the money's coming from? It's very easy for President Doolittle and Talk a Lot to stand up and say, I will pledge X amount of money for job creation. Again, no one knows where this is coming from. Even the Department of Employment and Labour is now worried that they might run out of money for the UIF. The Auditor General, Kimi Makwete, has said so. Unbelievable. When we're going to run out of money for the UIF and we're now pledging money for all grandiose schemes that are probably not going to move off the paperwork. We've had all sorts of new committees that are going to be meeting and constituted. All of them are going to earn salaries, I presume. Where those salaries are going to come from, I don't know. It's going to be a real problem. We still have the pending problem with the public servants who are very unhappy with government, who haven't given them the increases that they had promised to pay. That chicken has still got to come home to roost. That's going to be a real problem. Finally, Nedlac. That is the body that is debating most of this. Nedlac is still loyal to the government. Nedlac does not have representation from small business. Nedlac doesn't have representation from the unemployed. We need a new body. We need a body that is talking about the unemployed. That's 50% of the supposed future job market. Is 50% are unemployed. They should have a voice. They don't have a voice. I know the Democratic Alliance is forever speaking up on behalf of the unemployed, but the official body, Nedlac, should have a representative. Funnily enough, even one of the biggest trade union umbrella bodies don't have a seat at the table with Nedlac. We have had a lot of silence from Mr. Vavi recently, but he doesn't have a seat there, which is also a bit weird and strange. We need to start embracing atypical employment. Independent contractors, consultants, outsource employees, all sorts of atypical employment. We need to get people back into jobs, onto the job market, onto the floor. People need to work. We need to avoid a disaster which we're seeing right down the road. We have 50% unemployment in South Africa. The Democratic Alliance has a plan. We want to put people back into the workplace. We want to deregulate. We want to uncouple. We want to ensure that small business is there to employ. And we are doing this in the Western Province. Luckily, that is showing and people can see our plans in action. So thank you for listening to me. It's Michael Bagran. I'm the Democratic Alliance Labour spokesperson. It's a Saturday, the 17th of October 2020. I really appreciate you being with us.